What's up, everybody? And welcome back to the channel. Today we have to talk about something that is sending shockwaves through the entire sports world. Stephen A. Smith, the man who never minces words, just dropped an absolute bombshell on his show, and it's all centered around LeBron James. You've probably seen the whispers, the rumors, the wild speculation online. The rumor mill has been churning for a while now about LeBron James and his alleged connection to a massive gambling story. We're talking about a figure in the ballpark of $200 million. Now, let's be clear, this has been just that, a rumor. Internet chatter, forum posts, things you'd normally dismiss. But when Stephen A. Smith gets involved, you have to sit up and pay attention. He didn't just mention it, he addressed it head-on, and his words have given this story a level of credibility it never had before. So, what exactly did Stephen A. say? On a recent episode of his show, while discussing the pressures and scrutiny that modern athletes face, he brought up the gambling allegations against LeBron. He didn't just brush it off. Instead, he talked about how these stories, whether true or not, can gain a life of their own. He framed it as an example of the kind of intense pressure LeBron is under, but in doing so, he confirmed that this isn't just some fringe internet conspiracy. He confirmed that this story is a real topic of conversation in very serious circles. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, "People are talking about this. This isn't just something some troll cooked up in a basement. This is being discussed." He essentially validated the existence of the rumor at the highest levels of sports media. He didn't explicitly say, yes, LeBron has a $200 million gambling issue. Let's be very precise about that. But he did something almost as powerful. He confirmed that the story is real and being taken seriously by influential people. He essentially told his massive audience, hey, you know that crazy thing you heard? It's not as crazy as you think. Now let's break down why this is such a monumental development. For weeks, this was a taboo subject. Mainstream media wouldn't touch it. It was too scandalous, too unverified. But Stephen A. Smith just kicked the door wide open. By acknowledging the rumor and discussing its implications, he has given it a platform and, in a way, legitimized the conversation around it. He is basically saying that there were enough smoke here that we need to at least look for the fire. Think about the implications. We're talking about the face of the NBA, one of the greatest athletes of all time. Any association with a gambling scandal of this magnitude is catastrophic, not just for his legacy, but for the entire league. The NBA has leaned heavily into sports betting partnerships. The last thing they need is for their biggest star to be embroiled in a controversy that questions the integrity of the game. So the big question is, where does this story come from? The origins are murky, which is why it was so easy to dismiss initially. It seems to have started on lesser-known sports blogs and forums, alleging that a high-profile associate of LeBron's was involved in a massive illegal betting operation and that LeBron himself might be connected, either directly or indirectly. The $200 million figure is what made it sound so unbelievable. But now, with Stephen A.'s comments, we have to ask, does he know more than he's letting on? Stephen A. Smith is not just a talking head. He has sources. He has deep connections throughout the league, with agents, with front offices, with players. When he speaks, it's often based on information that the public doesn't have access to. So, was this a calculated move? Was he testing the waters, sending a signal, or was he just using it as an example in a broader conversation? Knowing Stephen A., it's rare that he says anything muge aobsi. Every word is intentional. This puts LeBron James in an incredibly difficult position. How do you respond to something like this? If you ignore it, some will say your silence is proof of guilt. If you deny it, you give the story even more oxygen and media attention. It's a classic catch-22. So far, LeBron's camp has been completely silent on the matter, which is their typical strategy for handling rumors. They usually let them die down on their own, but this one might be different. This one now has Stephen A. Smith's name attached to it. Let's also consider the timing. The Lakers just had a tumultuous season. There's uncertainty about the coaching staff, about the roster, and about LeBron's own future with the team. Dropping this kind of bombshell into an already volatile situation is like throwing gasoline on a fire. It creates chaos and distraction at a time when the organization desperately needs stability. So, what happens next? This is the million-dollar question, or in this case, the $200 million question. Will other mainstream outlets now feel emboldened to cover this story? Will investigative journalists start digging deeper? Will the NBA feel pressured to launch its own internal investigation to protect the league's integrity? Stephen A's comments have opened Pandora's box, and it's going to be very, very difficult to close it now. We're in uncharted territory here. We've seen sports scandals before, but nothing involving a player of LeBron's stature and a sum of money this astronomical. This has the potential to become one of the biggest stories in sports history. We're going to be watching this incredibly closely, every twist and every turn. Stephen A. Smith may not have intended to end LeBron, as Utpadan songs would say, but he has certainly started a firestorm that will be impossible for LeBron and the NBA to ignore. This is a developing story, and you can bet we'll be here to break it all down for you as more information comes to light. What do you think about all this? Do you believe there's any truth to these rumors? What should LeBron's next move be? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I read every single one. Thanks for tuning in. This is a massive story, and things are moving fast. If you want to stay updated and not miss a single development, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We appreciate you all for your support. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.